The way they kill our people is in the most horrific, the most gruesome, the most cruel manner anyone could ever think. It will make even the devil to shiver.
He didn't speak about Christians when they were killed in Jigawa silently.
So I am Reverend Yakubu Muton. I am a pastor with the Church of Christ in Nations. But this is my village. This is Mayanga. Mayanga is in Bokos local government, Plateau State of Nigeria. What really happened here is not only in this village that we are affected by this crisis. We are affected by more than 11 villages, which Mayanga happens to be one. And in these villages, it is the same method of attack that was conducted. It's the killing, the maiming of people, slaughtering them, and burning of their houses and their foodstuffs and properties. So by now, by the record we have already collected, we have over 150 people that are killed in one day. That is on the 24th of December. That is, the Christmas was just not a Christmas to us, like to celebrate. It was a mourning Christmas because of what happened to us. As you could see, I'm standing here. This is my house in my village, and I lost everything that was in the house, both foodstuff, clothing, and whatever. It was a furnished house, but it is burnt. And even the church that is by my side was burnt, and the pastorium is burnt. Everything about us here in this village is confused. As you could see, that everything is destroyed. But we thank God that some of us are alive. And at the cost of this, like me now, I lost 7 of my brothers at the cost of this crisis that happened. Thank you.
Another 50 Christians have been gruesomely murdered in the ongoing genocide in Nigeria. Frank Uto, a Nigerian lawyer and native of Yelawata, joins us now. Frank, these 50 that have been killed recently, you were talking with me before we got started about the manner in which they were killed. It wasn't, a bomb or something. This was a gruesome event. Can you tell me how these 50 people died?
The way they kill our people is in the most horrific, the most gruesome, the most cruel manner anyone could ever think. It will make even the devil to shiver. Because what they do is that when they come around, you run into your hut, into your house. And then what they do is that they will now, cycle the house with fear. They will lit fire on the house. And then when you are coming out, they will now hack you down with machete. So they're cutting you as if they are cutting a piece of wood. Not as even they are killing a wild animal. You don't even kill a wild animal that way. So they'll bust your brains with machete and you see spillage of brains. I believe you've seen some of these very horrific pictures. They are so graphic. I have hundreds of them in my phone right now. These are my siblings. These are my cousins. These are people I know so well. I know almost 80% of these people. As a matter of fact, some of them, I spoke to some of them a week before that thing happened. And anytime we speak, we talk with dread. We know that we are living on time bomb. We know that these things will come again. So every time I try to give them an advice, to keep their eyes open. But that was what happened. There are 2 of my aunties who were pregnant. One was pregnant with a twin, with twins. They split open the stomach. They removed the twins and then slaughtered the twin. So that's what's been happening. And when they are doing this, they begin to recite Allah Akbar, which unfortunately has become an internationally recognized slogan and motto for terrorists. It may have good intention. The words in Arabic says Allah is great or something like that. But unfortunately, it has become the most universally accepted slogan and motto for jihadists. So they'll be slaughtering these people and be chanting Allah Akbar. That's what we've been facing. And unfortunately, the government of our country, the government of our state is doing extremely nothing about this because they will just want to be politically correct.
I'm Pastor Gideon Dowell from Christ Apostolic Church. I'm a pastor, as I've said, working with Christ Apostolic Church as a ordained minister. On that very day, being December 24 December 2023, 2023, it was Christmas Eve, and people are preparing towards the next day for Christmas celebration. In my church where I was pastoring as Christ Apostolic Church is in Bokos local government area of Plateau State. On that very day, it was a day that I will never forget in my life. Because of what happened that very day around 7 p.m. Everybody was home, everybody was preparing, not knowing that the Fulani are coming for an attack that very day. And as the place get darker that day, we had, and I was outside, far away from the house, when I discovered that we saw a particular house set ablaze, and we heard them chanting Allahu Akbar. There were many, so they rushed into the community, and unfortunately my family were inside the house, and they rampaged the community, they burned houses, and they burned my wife, my 5 children, my belongings, the storages, what I harvested, the mobility I was using. And as I told you, I was outside the house at the moment. I didn't mean I was inside. I believe I could have been a victim too. And I thought my family ran away from the house. And I don't know that they were, when they entered the mission house, I bet my wife locked the door, and they were born inside the house, including everything I had. So when we came back the next morning, I was trying to call my wife because let me know where they run to. Unfortunately, I didn't know that they were inside until some people entered there and discovered that they saw 5 bomb bodies inside them. And when I noticed that, when it came to my knowledge that these are my children, then I fainted and I was carried to the Plateau Hospital, just University Hospital. And that was how that day was so dangerous day. I can't forget that day in my life when I lost everything I had.
He didn't spoke about how Christians were killed from far north, Sokoto. He didn't spoke about Christians when they were killed in Jigawa silently. Maiduguri, Zafara, Kasina, Kano, silenced in the typical village, local governments. He didn't spoke about the killing of Christians in Kaduna, Niger. He didn't spoke about that. We have a missionary that we have invested in Kaiji areas. Now they abuse. They have killed many Christians. Have been to that terrain, and now they didn't know what happened in Bauchi. The sailors, how they invaded the land. They want to wipe them in Bauchi, Michika, Madagali, Taraba. There is a gate coming down to Plateau, Benue. He didn't spoke about that. Those Christians that were butchered, they buried them there. The Colonel Reno Creo, what is that his name? He came out and said there's no genocide like that in Nigeria. That man have lost him already. He will never know peace down to the grave. The blood of people that have entered my brain, I transfer them, my head, to his life. He will not escape. I want all Nigerians to know the man will never escape. He has been doing devious life to different government. This time around, he has crossed his line. If I exist without seeing God crushing that man, then I'm a bastard. Because the blood, the people that have been killed in the north, for him coming out, he has crossed the line. He's finished. The only hope for him that he will buy my heart, let him repent. Let him repent. If Reno Amokari will repent, and those kind of officials that came out and denied there's no genocide, if they don't repent, oh no. It is God at work